Absolutely everyone knows this image. A castle looking as if it sprang right out of a fairy tale. White, high up on a cliff and surrounded by Bavarian Alps. But what hardly anyone knows, Neuschwanstein Castle was actually never finished. Over 200 rooms were planned, but only around 15 were completed. Many areas remained just a shell and exist only in drawings. That isn't due to a war or some catastrophe, but due to a king and a story full of ambition, debt, and intrigue. Chapter 1. The Origin of the Dream. The commissioner was King Ludwig II of Bavaria. He ascended the throne in 1864 at just 18 years of age, and even then he was seen as unusual, intelligent, introverted, and idealistic. He detested the noise of politics and sought his peace in art, music, and nature. He especially revered the compositions of Art Wagner's operas, with their knights in godly realms shaped Ludwig's concept of beauty and power. He didn't want to rule like a politician, but create like an artist. His dream was a medieval-style fortress, not as a seat of government, but as a retreat, a place where he could forget the outside world. So in 1868, he gave the order for a new castle above the Perlat Gorge near Fusen. In the same spot stood the old ruins of Vorderhohenschwangau. Here, his personal paradise was to emerge. Neuschwanstein Castle. Chapter 2. A build like no other. Ludwig didn't hire an experienced architect, but first the stage painter Christian Jank. His designs were spectacular. Towers, arcades, bridges, and staircases, as one only knew them from theater backdrops. Architect Edward Riedel then translated these drawings into real building plans. In 1869, work began. The construction site was extremely difficult. The cliffs were narrow, steep, and hard to access. All materials had to be brought up by horse or cable lift. Despite these conditions, massive walls, towers, and a multi-story palace arose within just a few years. The technical effort was enormous. Neuschwanstein received running water, toilets with flushing, central heating, and even an electric bell system. That was revolutionary for that time. Ludwig, however, was not an easy client. He constantly changed plans, discarded finished designs, and insisted on ever more new details. Costs exploded, and the castle remained a permanent construction site. Chapter 3. The King and His Debts. Construction costs for Neuschwanstein quickly rose to several million gold marks. Ludwig funded the castle from his private fortune and via loans. But soon, he was hopelessly in debt. His ministers warned him, but he ignored them. Worse still, at the same time he had two other castles built, Linderhof and Herrenchiemsee. Each of them cost a fortune. While Bavaria was under economic pressure, the king withdrew further and further. To many, he was an eccentric ruler. To others, simply no longer sane. The government began to see him as a risk, a king who wasted his money and who lost himself in his own fantasies and could perhaps ruin the entire country. Chapter 4. The Incapacitation. In the spring of 1886, the Bavarian government decided to act. They commissioned the psychiatrist Bernhard von Guden and other doctors to assess the king's mental state. But the curious thing, none of them spoke personally with Ludwig. Nevertheless, they declared him mentally ill and unfit to rule. On June 10, 1886, Ludwig was officially incapacitated. He resisted, but by this point, he had no power left. 4 days later, he was taken under guard to Berg Castle on Lake Starnberg. On the evening of June 13th, Ludwig went for a walk by the lake with his doctor, Dr. Guden. But neither returned. A little later, their bodies were found in the water, and to this day it is unclear what happened that night. Was it an accident, or even a joint suicide? Was it a targeted murder to silence the king for good? The files provide no clear answer to this day. Chapter 5. The Unfinished Castle. After Ludwig's death, construction work stopped immediately. Many planned rooms were still empty, unpainted, or still just a shell. The large extensions, as well as the keep, the castle garden, or the chapel were never begun. The interior design, which Ludwig planned so minutely, was realized only as a fraction. Of over 200 rooms, 15 were truly finished. The magnificent throne room possessed no throne until the very end. His successors decided not to continue building. Instead, they opened it to visitors just 6 weeks after Ludwig's death. This was to pay back part of the enormous debts. What the king had planned as a private retreat thus became a tourist attraction within just a few weeks.